All right, everybody, welcome back to the bench. So this week we are going to talk about the Knights M5 RAS versus the RIS III and why I went with the RIS III for the Dissipator build. Now, huge thank you to Brownells. They're an amazing company. They've done a lot for the channel. Go head on over there, use code BOP10, save yourself 10% off. You can get the Knights RIS III, you can get the Aimpoint. Actually, you can't use it on Aimpoint products, but you can use it on EOTech products. So if you want to go get an EOTech or do anything like that, go head on over there, use that code. When I originally thought about this entire build, I wanted to update it, but I loved the look of the Knights M5 RAS rail. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be like an updating the, like, to the GWatt era, right? You know, that would be cool. One of the things I found in my initial accuracy testing of this video, which I didn't even bother to take the target, was the Knights M5 RAS is stable. It's a very, very stable thing. But like when I put a bipod on there or do any sort of loading, it has a tendency to throw the groups off. And it can be quite drastic, especially with a pencil barrel. When it comes to it being a pencil barrel, it's very, very, very susceptible to being moved while shooting, especially on a non-free float handguard. Now, a lot of people have said, the Knights is very rigid. It is very rigid, but it was not designed to work with pencil profile barrels. It was designed for those government profile or those SOCOM profile barrels. That's what it was designed for. It was designed for that. It also wasn't designed to put a bipod on there and shoot out to distance. If you wanted that, you had to go with the Knights free float rail version, which nobody seems to have, and when they are available, are outrageously priced. I think I saw one on Gunbroker for, I think it was over $700. So those Knights free float things, it is what it is. Also, side tangent, that's why I hate cloners, because they will take something that's cool and they will make you pay out the butt for it. So if you wonder where I think the ruining of the gun community is coming from, it's the cloners. I wanted the RIS III. Some people are saying the RIS II would be better. You should do a quad rail, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, M-LOK is the future, and I'm just going to go ahead and state that that's where I'm going to live with it. I don't really care that much for quad rails. I know it's like sacrilege when you say this. You're out here and you're doing gun stuff, and then you say you don't like quad rails. Not that I hate them. They're a lot bigger, they're a lot bulkier, they're not as lightweight. Unfortunately, I did not take any videos of how much lighter the RIS III upper was as compared to the Knights M5 RAS. But when it comes to the M5 RAS, I love that thing. It's amazing. It's great for a 20-inch. It's probably one of the nicer rails that I have, and I really do like it. But when it comes down to brass tacks, I will pick the RIS III any day. Like if I could, and I knew I wasn't going to upset the entire gun community, I would take the 20-inch and I would put a 12.5-inch RIS III on here, and I would have absolutely no problems doing it. It is one of my favorite rails that I've got to play with so far. Now, that's not to say like Midwest Industries or any of those other companies, they're bad or anything like that. That is not what I'm saying, and I hope that that's not how that's coming off. I still love my Midwest Industries rails. I have a lot of their rails. I think so far in my offices I can count, I think I have 6. Are they on any builds? Absolutely not, because I've been selling stuff and getting rid of things and wanting to build new things and doing stuff like that. The Knights M5 RAS has a specific purpose, and I think it works fantastically with the 20-inch because that's what it was designed for. It was designed to work that way, and it was designed to do that. And I have absolutely no problems with it on the 20-inch. I think it's fantastic. I loved it on the Dissipator. I had absolutely no problem making the Dissipator with that rail, other than when I went to go shoot it for groups, and I found that none of my groups were staying consistent. When I went to go load a bipod, I could see the shots and how they were hitting between a loaded and unloaded bipod. So that's where I was like, you know what? I can't use the RIS III for this specific purpose. I have to use a different rail, and that's where I went with the RIS III. I honestly was like, you know what? We need the RIS III. The RIS III is definitely going to be, it's goated in my opinion, but so is the RAS. The RAS is also a very goated option. So when it comes down to it, I have a 20-inch. I love the 20-inch. I think the 20-inch is fantastic. It is a government profile 1-in-7 twist. It's chrome lined. It is fantastic. It is not cold hammer forged. It is a Brownells barrel. I like that barrel. In fact, that barrel has been reasonably accurate. When it comes to the 20-inch, I'm ecstatic about it. I love the way it looks, and to be honest, it looks fantastic with this this standard RAS rail here in its configuration, minus the foregrip because it wouldn't sit on my bench correctly. So now we get into the RIS III. The RIS III was developed for some military contract somewhere. Some nerd somewhere will correct me if I state it wrong in any sort of manner or fashion. So I'm just going to leave it to the nerd down below to just type it out in a 18 paragraphs, and I will pin that comment. And there you go. So the RIS III was developed for military people, and it is a fantastic rail. So far, it's very solid. There's a couple of like nitpicky things I'm going to talk about just because it is a $300+ rail. So when talking about the RIS III, it is very off in color. Everything else has like this specific like shinier color, like it's a shinier matte black, whereas this is just a standard matte black. It is very matte. You can feel it when you touch it. Like it has a different texture to it than everything else. Not that that's a bad thing. It is very good. The lockup on the RIS III is second to none. I've never actually seen anybody have a problem with any of the RIS rails, the RIS II, the RIS III, whatever you want. It is probably one of those things. It comes in multiple configurations. It comes with a front sight base cutout if you want to get one of those. It has the one where you can take the bottom off and attach your 203 to it if that's so how you feel. By all means, you can do any one of those configurations with these rails, and it is fantastic. The other cool part about this is it comes integrated with QD sockets, which is one of the things the RIS II did not. Now, I love QD sockets, and I'm happy that they just put it here. I like that because it's all the way at the back. It is where no usable space is. Now, if I have one bone to pick with Midwest Industries, it's that they put QD sockets everywhere. And I understand that, like maybe some people really want them out front, but I don't think that they should take up space in terms of M-LOK. Like when it comes to M-LOK, you know, when you have your accessories, when you want to put stuff on here, you have places that we want your light as far forward as possible. Midwest Industries doesn't do that. And when I was looking at those rails, it was, you can have one of these rails, you can go get the RIS III and just have the one QD socket here at the back, and then you can add them along the way, which is what I prefer. Or I could have gone the much cheaper route, which was Midwest Industries, and just kind of been fighting with the entirety of having to deal with QD slots everywhere. And that's really why when it came down to brass tacks, and when I finally decided on the rail, which I decided this like a long time ago, right after my accuracy testing, I started looking at rails, and I had decided on the RIS III. It was kind of like a no-brainer for me. It was like, you know what? The RIS III makes sense. It's a fantastic option, and that's what I'm going to do with it. So I went with the RIS III, and that's the why behind it. I don't know if you guys want, this is going to be a video extra. I'm going to put this out probably today or tomorrow. This is not going to be a highly edited video. I'll take out some of the ums and stuff like that, but I just kind of wanted to let everybody know why. The why behind the RIS III on the, what I'm dubbing the M-16A5 Dissipator. Now, I know that there are some people in the comments who are like, the M16 is full auto. Okay. If you ever heard of the Colt 605 program, which is pretty much what this is technically, if you really want to get down to brass tacks and you really want to be annoying about it, it's not a true dissipator, because dissipators, I guess, from Wyndham and Bushmaster, they made a carbine style gas system, and they fitted it to a rifle with a front sight base. That's how that worked. And I'm going to be 100% honest. It's not, I don't care. To me, this is a true, like, it is my dissipator build. This is what I'm making. The internet is what you make of it. So I understand that those people have, you know, their very strong opinions. They're emotionally attached to their opinions. I completely get it. Just like I am emotionally attached to my opinion of updating the Dissipator, the Colt 605. Now, Colt technically never made the Dissipator, never, like not even once, but they did make the 605, which was the predecessor to the Dissipator, which is where Wyndham Weaponry got the idea to put a low-profile gas block inside of a rifle-length handguard, and just, I don't know. They apparently wanted to do it. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. The rifle-length gas system does work, and it is reliable, especially suppressed. But even unsuppressed, it has been miraculously reliable with the A5 system. Now, I have been a huge naysayer of the A5 system in the past, and I completely get it, and I will say this. I do not think that it does what people say that it does. I have read the papers of the A5 system. I know why it's useful. I know all that other stuff. But when I say that I don't like the A5 system, it is what everybody says is like this golden goose egg of systems, like of buffer systems. It's not. It's designed for a very specific thing, and it was, to be honest, from everything I can read, it was actually never adopted. The M-16A5 program never went anywhere. They never decided to update it. They just stuck with the rifle length gas system, or they went with the M4 and they went with the carbine buffer system. That's just how that works. I know that some people are going to be like, the M-16A5 is much better than this, and you must use the A5 buffer system and all that. I get it. It works really well on this platform. It works better than a carbine. And I can say that. I understand how people are talking about like the reliability enhancements. That makes sense, but it obviously did not make that much sense as if it was never adopted. It was never a thing. I think it solved very small unit stuff, and I think some special forces operators use the A5 system in their personal carbines or in their carbines that they use for work, but they do not, like, it does have an NSN number and you can get it, but it was never formally adopted for widespread troop use. So that's really my bone to pick with the A5. I know this is a video extra. You're getting all this. This isn't my Monday video. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys can understand why I went with the RIS III, why I made the decisions that I made. We're going to talk about a lot more stuff when it comes down to this suppressor choice and all that other fun stuff, because I have a couple of cans that I'll be able to play with when it comes to this. Hopefully my Lahar, I don't know why it's taking forever. I have called and emailed and done all the other fun stuff, and I just keep getting the runaround. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's maybe my outspoken anti-government rants that I do on my podcast. That's why they're not letting me have it. I have no idea. But when it comes to this, I think it's going to be a very, very valid option, and it's reliable. It is very reliable. I still have yet to really clean it. I think I ran a board brush down it when I first got it, just to do all that and to get all the goop from the factory out of there. Other than that, I've really got nothing else to say. We'll go through an entire build video. As always, there are links to everything about this build on Reddit. In fact, I'm building out more links today as we speak. So if you go visit that, there will be more links to all the fun stuff that you can pick up here and where I got it from and any discount codes that do go with that. So I can't thank you guys enough for tuning into the bench. I can't thank you guys enough for your support. Hit that join button, hit the subscribe, hit the like button if you found any of this information cool, useful, or if you were upset, you can hit the down button and comment your angry comments down below. As always, it helps engagement. Thank you so much. Be a hoodlum.